welcome to Vinyasa yoga. We're doing it here during a lunchtime today. You might be looking at it at 2 in the morning on YouTube. It's hard to say. So we're going to just take a simple seated position. You can do a simple cross-legged position like I've got. It can be a lotus posture or a butterfly. Whatever will get your pelvis to kind of mostly be neutral. For some of us, the pelvis tends to lean back when we sit down on the floor, so if you sit up on the edge of a blanket or on a throw pillow, sometimes that will get your hips adjusted enough above your knees that you'll get that neutral spine position. So then close your eyes and just pause for a moment. Now I like to take my palms and put them down on my knees. This is called the mudra of calm abiding. And if you're feeling a little bit sort of usually for me, I've got a million things going on inside my brain. And so that position of putting my palms down helps me kind of just refocus and center. And because I've done it over and over again, it has become a kind of ritual that does that for me automatically. As soon as I put my hands down, I'm, come back to the middle. So if I'm feeling sluggish or a little sleepy, sometimes putting the palms up and even doing the Chen mudra, which is the mudra for concentrating or creating concentration. Sometimes that's helpful. So if you're feeling like that would be a better option for you, do that. And then now that you're here, take some deep breaths. Try to get as deep into your lungs as you can. Get the ribs to expand. And try to get to all the little tiny, little teeny tiny bronchi of the lungs, like way down into the teeny bits. Every time I say that word, I see the tiny little florets of broccoli in my lungs. So we'll do about 3 more breaths. Sit up really tall on your inhale, and whatever leg's in front, we're going to twist that way first. So you're going to turn to the side. You can put your hand on your knee if that's available. Put a hand on the floor behind you. See if the shoulder blades will just come back just a notch. And then I'm going to leave my lower back where I've got it, but I'm going to see if there's a little bit of room for me to twist just between my shoulder blades a tiny bit more. And then you can look out over that back shoulder, or look out over your front shoulder, whichever one seems better to you. This one's been fun for me this past couple of weeks is to go opposite with the head, just to give that little area a bit of a stretch, a bit of a draining in the lymph. Okay, so do 1 more breath, and then we'll come out of there. Ooh, give it a little rinse and do some little, I like to call these washing machine moves. Just kind of let yourself settle into the center. Now we're gonna let the spine go forward and back, kind of like a cat-cow, but seated down. Seated, forward and back. Oh. Forward and back. Okay. So then get nice and tall. Switch which leg is in front. If it feels like your spine is still a little bit not so great, you can do a couple more rounds of those before you do the second twist. And so again, you might put your hand all the way across. You can put your hand down the center, a hand behind you. Once you get the lower part of the back twisted, let that stay. And then work with just that upper back, just between the shoulder blades. See if it wants to come around. And again, you can turn your head backwards, or you can turn your head forward. Sit up a little taller if it's available. And take nice deep breaths. Breathing deeply in a twist feels really interesting, as the diaphragm moves a little differently when the torso is twisted. Washing machine. And now we're going to come up to all fours to do some more cats. So come up. And now the cats can go just straight up and down so that you're getting those little spaces in your shoulders and your back. or you can also take them out to the side a little bit. You can move around in a circle with your ribs. So you're just going to get a little creative. Sometimes I'll walk it over to the side and really get that side wall. And then we're going to come into a modified plank. So to do the modified plank, I want to shift my hips forward so that from basically the shoulders to my knees, I've got kind of a ski slope. And then hugging the elbows in, we're going to lower down, come into cobra, come back down, push back up, and take it back as far as it goes. So this turns into kind of a puppy dog, or for some people it'll go all the way to child's pose. So forward, lower, cobra, push up, and back. Now, for the rest of our vinyasas, I'm going to do a similar pattern here. I'm going to keep my knees on the ground, or put them down, before I do these little chaturangas. If you are an advanced practitioner and you can, you want to do that in full way, you can. I'm trying to make these classes that I'm posting online as beginner friendly as possible. So one more time through these little movements. So if you're new, following me might give you a little bit more, just a sense that you can do it. All right, so let's tuck in, and it's a little more gentle. If you need to be gentle with yourself, that's also nice. So then come to downward dog. Now, I like to move my shoulders up and down, up and down. Just kind of get a little movement going. And then let them go as deep into your back as you can, so you've got as long a possible neck. And then you can walk your feet up and down. Sometimes I go out really wide and shift back and forth. And so just kind of finding a dog that feels good to you. Now we're going to either hop up to the top of the mat, or you can walk up to the top of the mat, or you can walk back to the back of the mat, and then take a little walking meditation up to the top of your mat, kind of feeling out. There's a little bit of unevenness where my foot is right now. And just sort of feeling the movement of your body through space. Walking slowly, for some reason, suddenly becomes really awkward, whereas normal walking feels pretty natural these days. I'm sure at one point it was awkward. And it might be awkward again one day. So we're going to find a mountain pose. So what I've already done is I've turned my toes forward, I've spread them out, done a little rocking back and forth. Settle the tailbone, just so we're not curling the tailbone under. That's what that looks like. Instead, it's just lifting a little bit through the core. And then relax your shoulders. Now, I find mountain pose quite vulnerable, really. If I were going to stand on a busy sidewalk one day again in the future, it would be interesting to stand and just hold a mountain pose for a bit. And if you are a PBS watcher, there's a series on PBS, I think it's called Art 21, Art in the 21st Century. And there's an artist, and I can't remember her name, but she is an Asian female artist, if that's helpful. And she does these interesting video works where she stands in mountain pose in busy market squares all over the world with a camera behind her, and lets people walk around her without responding or moving. I think she calls it threading the needle. So if you're curious about what that could look like, that's a way to kind of check in. Now, enough of my storytelling. Let's do some sun salutations. So we're going to reach up nice and tall. We're going to fold forward. You're going to inhale up halfway. Now you can put your hands on your shins or on your thighs or leave them on the floor. Exhale, fold. You're going to step back with one leg, whichever one you want to start with. Pause with that lunge and then step back. You can go to downward dog or directly into plank. Now, knees, and then I'm going to come straight down and come into that cobra. You could do a chaturanga into an upward dog. Back to my modified chaturanga and back to down dog. Take that same leg you just stepped forward with, lift it up, step it forward, pause and look up, and then you're just going to step right into that half forward bend. Fold. And come all the way up to standing, give it a big stretch. And then hands to your heart. Let's do that a couple more times. Big breath. Fold. Halfway. Fold. Step back with the other leg. Lunge. Step back. Maybe dog, maybe plank. And then choosing your lowering down. And your back bend. Taking it back. Take that leg up. Step it forward. Look up. Go right into that halfway. And fold. And then all the way to standing. If your space is limited, do it this way. Inhale straight up the center. Exhale, fold. Come up halfway. Fold. Step back with that first foot. Step back with that second foot. Bringing yourself down. Coming into your cobra. Coming back to dog. Same leg goes up. Same leg steps forward. Look up. Step into that halfway mark. Fold. Come straight up the middle nice and tight. And back to mountain. One more time. Nice big breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Step back with that other leg. Look up. Back to plank or dog and into plank. Lower. Cobra. Back to dog. Step that leg forward. Oh. Look up. Bring it up to that halfway mark. Fold right in. And then come up. However it works best. Oh. And come back to mountain pose. Take a nice big breath. Exhale out and just feel where that landed you. My heart rate's a little up. It's warm right here in my front window. Come up halfway. Now we're going to step back into a warrior two. So I'm just going to pick up that first foot, step it back, and then I'm going to get a little fancy with my warrior two, coming back to reverse and over for a side angle. We're going to do that twice more. Back to reverse, over to side, back to reverse, and we're going to go all the way down to a plank. You can do your chaturanga, up dog, etc., or this one, or you can just go to down dog and hold that. All right, take that leg up, step it forward. Now, we're going to pause. So for me, I have to go kind of wide to get my leg in place. So I've wiggled it in. We're going to add a little twist and come on out. And add a little twist and come on out. And one more time. Add a little twist and come out. And then we're going to step that back leg right up in here halfway. Fold forward. Come all the way up. Oh, and find that mountain pose. And take a breath and feel the difference. So big inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. So we're going to step back again with that opposite leg. Finding our warrior two. Coming up. Fancy or not so fancy. Come on back to reverse. And over to side. And back to reverse. And over to side. And back to reverse. And then all the way down. And back maybe to down dog. Maybe you do that vinyasa. So if you feel like you want to take a little bit less, come here. Then we're going to take that same leg and step it forward. And we'll do our lunge twist. And maybe the floor is a little too far away, so you have a block or a pot, like a sauce pot, whatever you've got. So you're going to twist and come out and twist. Try to keep that hip lifting and come out and twist. Reach through that heel and come out. And then we're going to step right into that halfway and fold and come up for mountain. find your way back. Nice big breath. Checking in. Little chair pose. See how far back your hips want to go. As I go back, it feels better to kind of bring my arms down. You might want to keep yours up. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to fold. Come up halfway. Exhale, fold. So again, we're going to step back with that first leg. This time we're going to go for warrior one. So I'm going to angle my toes a little more in the diagonal and come straight up the front. Now what I don't want to do is try to square my hip forward. For most of us, that's not going to work well. There are people who have that kind of flexibility, and that's fine. But for most of us, just let the foot follow, or the hip follow the foot, so that they're a unit. And then we're going to stretch out, and then right here, reach really long, and fold over your leg. Now, this is called humble warrior or bowing warrior. You can stay resting right on your leg. You can let yourself come in here. You could wrap the arms behind your back and do a shoulder opener. I'm going to let myself get kind of loose. Shake out my head a little bit. Keep pressing back and lifting through the center thigh. And then we're going to take this leg and straighten it out. And bend it. And straighten it out. And I'm finding like, oh yeah, there's the hamstring stretch. And bend it. And straighten it out. And then if you like, you can take this back foot and bring it in and turn it forward more. You can get yourself a block if you've got a handy block. And then fold into this hamstring stretch that we're getting on this front leg. If I move my hips a little bit this way or a little bit that way, it changes the stretch. If I get closer or farther away from my thigh, it changes the stretch. I like to spread out my toes and really kind of ground my feet into the floor a little bit. We're going to do one more breath. Okay, now there's two options. Option one is to step forward and go back into mountain pose. Option two is to step backwards into downward dog. Come to plank, lower down, do your up dog or cobra and come back and then come forward. So I'm going to step forward. That's the more gentle option. And then I'm going to come all the way up to mountain pose. And we'll give our friends who did the Vinyasa a breath to catch up with us. And then we're going to sink into chair pose. And again, I might want the hips to go back further. I might want to keep this a little more upright. Both have good reasons for being. And then we're going to come back and step back and take our warrior one, or fold forward, do your vinyasa, step your foot forward on the opposite leg. Now, come into this warrior one again. I'm going to lift really nice and firm. I'm going to give myself a nice long length. I'm going to lean into this and really stretch, and then keep going into humble warrior, bowing warrior, whatever you'd like to refer to it as. Let yourself explore that shape. Keep a lift through the center thigh. And you're just kind of feeling things out. So we're going to take 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to see what happens when we straighten this leg out. And bend it again. And straighten it out. And bend it again. And then straighten it out. And allowing ourselves to maybe adjust the back foot. Bring in a prop or two, if they're available. And then explore that shape. And so I feel this one in the sole of my foot in a way that I don't on the other side. So that's interesting. And so really pressing down a little bit more into the foot as I play with the hips and just finding those little edges are a way to keep me interested in what's going on in my pose. Again, so it's a mindfulness practice, being present for what's happening right now. We're going to take 1 more breath here. And we're going to take ourselves either through the vinyasa or step it right forward if you want to take the more gentle route and come all the way to mountain pose. And our friends that are doing their vinyasa, we're going to wait them out for, oh, I'm standing on my tiptoes. We're going to wait them out And then, whew, we're all here together. Now, we're gonna sink this into chair pose one more time. We're gonna pick up the right leg and see if we can balance. And if you fall, you fall. It's a one-legged chair. Then we're gonna take this guy and try to step back into a high lunge without breaking anything on your body or in your house. If you fall, you catch. All right. So now my hips can be turned forward because I'm up on my toes back here. So we're gonna take this back knee and bring it down a little bit and straighten it back out. Now some people can bend that knee quite a lot, almost to the ground. And some of us, like me, it's gonna be a little bit more shallow. You might not even be able to tell that I'm bending that back knee and trying not to fall and straightening it back out one more time. Bend it and straighten it out. Now, I'm gonna take a balancing pose. So to do this, I'm gonna lean forward like I did with the other pose. I'm gonna put my hand on this block or on the floor, and then I'm gonna pick myself up. Now, we're gonna add that twist. So we're gonna reach back through that heel, lengthen up through the body, turn the torso and see if I can hold steady in both directions, twisting and reaching back. Oh, I love this pose. It's my favorite balance pose. 2 more breaths. One more. All right, so then you either step back and do your vinyasa or bring that guy forward and shake everything out and then come back up to your mountain pose. Oh. This is my favorite kind of pose. Like balance poses do a lot of really interesting sensations in the hips. It's fun. All right, so let's do the other side. So we're gonna come to chair, and you might put your hands at your heart, you might keep your arms up. We're gonna see if we can do that balance. If you lose your balance, just put your toe down. And then we're gonna try to step back into our high lunge without losing it. And then there's that sense of accomplishment when you actually pull that off. And then bend your knee, and straighten your leg. And bend your knee a little bit, or a lot, and straighten it out. Catch the balance. Bend your knee, straighten it out, and then one more time. All right, so we're gonna lean in. We're gonna take a prop if we're using it, and use the floor if we're not. And then, lengthen out. Reach through that heel. Twist yourself into revolved half moon. It's a full moon tonight. Go out there and howl at the moon yogis from the privacy of your porch or deck or tiny balcony. Take one more big breath, and then you can step back and do that vinyasa, or join me here in a forward bend. So we'll hold this forward bend. And our vinyasa friends, once they get back to down dog, they can stay there because we're going to join you there. So we're going to step back into down dog. We're going to take one leg up. I'm going to start with my right leg because that's the one I started with earlier. And then we're going to bring this leg forward into a pigeon. Now, here's the thing. If a pigeon is not right for you, you can substitute a low lunge, or you can substitute a pose where you either sit with one leg up on top or lie down with one, that's nice, with one leg up on top, like that, without the block under your head maybe. I do like to have a little throw pillow to put under my hips. So once I'm here, a little softness, and I use a blanket if I'm at a yoga studio and I don't have any throw pillows handy. Okay, now, I like to sit upright for some of the time. I like to use blocks under my elbows because it gives me kind of a halfway point. And then you can also lay all the way down onto the floor. We're going to stay for about another minute here. We warmed up our hips with all those poses. And so, getting kind of deeper into the muscle layers there. See if we can bring also a little sense of freedom to that area up under your butt that might be feeling some pressure because it's one of our fight or flight muscles that lives up under that glute. If it feels pinchy or if it feels like your toes are going numb, Try one of the other variations and see if that's better for you. So take a nice big breath. Let go of the big ah. And we're going to bring this back leg around. So I'm leaning into my bent leg hip and bringing that back leg around. And if you're on your back, join us here. So the front leg that was my pigeon leg, my right leg is still bent, and my left leg is up front. And essentially what I'm going to do is just pull that sit bone, if you can see that, pull that sit bone back. Now some people's foot will come right up to the inside of their groin. Do that if it's available to you. You can also use your throw pillow under your knee. And then if you've got a yoga strap handy, you could wrap that around your foot. So we're going to fold towards the foot. So I'm going to turn a little bit and see how far in I can fold. If I can reach out and grab my foot, fine. If I reach out and there's no foot there, but I've got a towel handy or a strap, you can grab your foot with that. Or you can just not grab your foot, that also works. Now, the cool thing about grabbing the foot is you can kind of pull back a little bit and push like you're pushing on the gas pedal. And that gives me a little bit more energy for lengthening my spine. So I can create some space. And by that I just mean I'm trying to use my abs to make myself feel taller. And then keep breathing, 2 more. All right, so we're gonna come up and then lean back and straighten that leg out. Now, if you would like to do a vinyasa, you can pick yourself up, roll over your legs, step back into a plank, and do your thing, and then step your leg forward. I'm just going to go straight to downward dog so that I can do the other side. So that's where we're going, one of those two. And then you'll take your left leg up and bring that forward. Or if you're doing things on your back, you could probably have done it without the downward dog. But you'll figure your way in. So you can either flip over now, or you can hang with the shape, adding your props as you like. Again, I take a few moments to get settled in. Snuggle my foot under the beanbag chair. And then we're just going to breathe for about 1.5 minutes. Just letting the body cool down, letting ourselves settle in. Deep breaths here. Now, I'm going to lean into the bent leg hip. I'm going to bring this back leg around, and that one is going to go up front. And again, I'm going to organize myself, so I'm going to pull that sit bone back a little bit. What happens when I do that is it feels like it turns me more towards my leg. Organize this leg the way you like it. Get tall, lean in, see if the foot's within reach, use a strap if you like, push on the gas, do a little bit of, kind of create length and space between the little vertebrae of your spine if it's available, or at the very least kick your abs on. Sometimes yoga teachers say all kinds of things that people who are science-minded scoff at. I can relate. So deep breaths. We'll do about 3 more. Now, nice big inhale coming up. Exhale, straighten out your legs, give everything a little jiggle. So now you could lie down on your mat and do a few moments of Shavasana, corpse pose. You could use this as an opportunity to get yourself into a seated meditation pose of some sort, so lotus or cross-legged position or sitting on your cushion, and then taking a deep breath and sort of pausing with where you are right now. Just feeling how the practice has impacted your mind and your heart and your body, because those things are not separated. In Sanskrit, there's a concept called chitta, and that is the body, the mind, the heart all together. It's our thoughts, our emotions, our intellect to some degree. So it's all of those kind of wrapped together, and the physical sensations of owning or having a body. And so kind of pause with your chitta. Now, yogis, enjoy the rest of your day. So have a fantastic day, and namaste.